What's going on, guys? This is John from Texas Wilds,
Rooster from Rooster Outdoors.
and you are listening to the Wiley Rooster Boys Outdoor Podcast.
God almighty, it was good to hear that sound.
Man, that kind of gave me goosebumps listening to that. That was, I missed it.
It did.
Hang on, something messed up here. Hold on.
Oh,
There
yeah.
we go. I'm good. Having some difficulties.
I mean, it wouldn't be, Wiley Rooster Boys without technical difficulties.
Oh, that's true. That's absolutely true.
Mm-hmm.
So what's been going on, man? I know that I've had quite a bit of stuff going on. I say quite a bit of stuff. It ain't, well, I'm finally kind of getting back into, fishing and kayaking and all that good stuff because my boys will be a year old in about 40 days, I think.
Dude, time flies, man.
I am telling
Absolutely
you,
flies by.
it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it don't seem like it's been a year. It really
No.
don't.
Well, you sent me that picture yesterday.
Yeah.
It was from, I think. Oh yeah, I remember where it was. But I thought, like I told you, I thought it'd been like a month or two, but it's not. It was like a year.
Yep, that's when I finally landed one of those flatheads. Picture we refer to is actually, I think it was on the intro, that bass.
Yes, I believe. Yeah,
That was
I think you're right.
the day we were talking about. Texas Wilds got that bass. You didn't see the picture, but I was called flathead. One I finally got landed up onto the beach.
Was that my new PB?
Do what?
No,
No, the other one guaranteed was at least 20. But we didn't remember. I got him up to the rocks. I was hollering at you.
Yeah.
Snapped
I'm
my line.
trying to remember if that picture of me in the intro was my PB.
That one, no. Nah, I don't think so.
Let me see here. I don't.
I think that might have been a PB for at that time, but
I think you're right. I don't know. I can't. I'm gonna be scrolling through my phone looking for that right now. But so if you guys have followed anything from my channel, just kind of set the scene for how out of it I've been. I think it was last February. I put that trolling motor on my kayak. Yeah. And it sat there until 2 weeks ago. But I did finally take the kayak out the other day, 2 weeks ago. And man, to be motorized. Oh man.
I bet, dude.
But it didn't come without problems.
What is that?
The number one problem.
Trying to track and remember what you were saying.
I don't remember. I can't keep track of it.
I know, right? It's weird.
Let me get myself back on track.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. But it was having a hard time tracking. And there I am.
Yep.
It's kind of raining here, so I might be fading in and out here and there. But the video that I put out whenever I took the kayak out for the first time with the trolling motor, it worked pretty well that morning whenever the water was glassy. And it, the steering was pretty good. However, once that wind picked up, all right, so, I'm going straight. And as I'm coming back, I got the trolling motor cocked like this, just trying to keep straight.
Really?
And that's whenever I bit the bullet and I got to get a rudder. Not actually intending to get a rudder, just thinking, hey, that would fix it. But at that time I was thinking, maybe I can just put my paddle across my lap and use my elbows to steer essentially, which will work. But I bought a rudder. So
at least your hand's free. I mean,
Yes.
Yes, an oar would work. But man, that would be a booger trying to do that with your hands and then trying to cast. And
let me hang on a second. I'm going to be blindingly white for a second. I'm going to see here.
Yeah, I was watching that video when you took the maiden voyage with that trolling motor. Man, that little thing, it zips. It gets
I'm
old.
telling you.
I was pretty impressed with it, really. Definitely jealous. I know that.
Where in the world is it?
Wait,
Yeah. I'm trying to find that the rudder that I bought.
Yep.
If I can.
It's pretty good setup. It kind of had one little thing that not really a problem, but a little disappointed with, huh?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Oh, I said that rudder, it's a sweet deal. Just kind of had one little thing, wasn't really a problem, but it just irritating, I guess.
Yeah. What was crazy to me is, well, what's crazy right now is the fact that I can't pull that thing up. The tubing that is on, that you have to use on this Bonafide, and I mentioned this in the video. That is so blinding. Okay, I mentioned in the video that if you have a feel free or a big fish, you ain't got to do that tedious step that I had to do, which was run your plumbing from, by your foot pedals to the back of the boat. It wasn't necessarily hard, but as I said, it was tedious. Those big fish and the feel frees, they're pre-plumbed. You don't have to do any of that mess. But the video that I put up, you'll see I had to drill the holes, and then I had to use. It's a very technical way of doing it, and Bonafide was very, fastidious about this. They're not fastidious. That's the wrong word. What the brain fart. Anyway, they were very absent-minded, I would say, because they say tie something heavy to this tubing and throw it to the back of the boat.
Yeah.
What's funny is in the pictures in the instruction booklet, it is a pair of vice grips. So I used a pair of vice grips. I taped them to it. However, I watched a video last week. This old boy did that, and he accidentally got the tubing tied in a knot, and he didn't know about it. So he gets it on there, he pulls it out, and you got to cut the end, and you got to melt the end and flange it so that it won't go back through the hole that you already drilled. He did all that, and he's like, all right, I'm good. He's going to start running that cable for the steering through that tube. Can't get it through. And fortunately enough, he said that he had just enough left where he could cut it, pull it back out, get the knot out of it, and redo it. But
yeah, lucky.
What I did to avoid that is you'll see this in the video, I pulled every bit of that dadgum tubing out of that kayak. I held it, and shoot, threw it, and let go. And I made sure I didn't get tangled up in there. But for the most part, that was, that was probably the most tedious part. Overall, it was pretty easy.
Yeah.
If you have your little instruction booklet, and I will say that a lot of their stuff in that booklet's kind of hard to see because it looks like it was printed off of a very terrible printer. And a lot of the pictures are like they're black and white and like faded. Their printer was going out or something. So you really can't tell what's going on. But if you have that booklet and you have the video that I made or any other video that you want to choose to watch, I'm a little partial to mine. But you have that booklet and you have that video, you'll have it. Yeah, you'll have it done in an hour. Every time I can see it going, I don't know if I'm actually freezing or not. But
yeah, no, yeah, you are on my end.
Okay, yeah, but you follow that video, you follow the instructions. Hour. It took me about an hour 5, and I was done. And it was really simple, but it's bothering me, man. I gotta find that. I want to show these guys what I got.
The thing that I was more referring to that was a little bit irritating was, I don't know what you'd call them. They're like those little cogs that you put on the end of your foot pegs.
Oh,
that's more what I was.
Yeah, about that. Does Bonafide not exist anymore? I can't find Bonafide on the interwebs.
Really? Oh.
I will get to what you're talking about. 1 second.
Must be on.
There it is. If I wasn't an idiot. Okay, let me search for this. I want to show these guys what I got. There's the search.
See, I'm so dang jealous.
I mean, from what I understand, you're
One
about
day.
to have yours.
One day I'll have mine up.
Okay. Before I tell that story, this is what I got. The SS Series rudder kit featuring the Yak Attack swing blade. Super simple. It comes with everything you need right there in the packaging. That's that tubing I was telling. Whoa, that's that tubing I was telling you about. And it's like I said in the video. It's pretty much. Well, It's pretty much idiot proof. If a dummy like me can do it, anybody can do it. But what you're talking about, dadgummit, I should have brought that back up. Give me some visual aids here.
I was gonna say I did see a picture of it,
Yeah, let me bring it back up.
and I don't understand. I don't. It was that a QC problem or
I think it was. I really do. All right, so right here, guys, you can't really see it. Let me add it to the stream. You can't really see it, but you can. You can see the hole.
Yep.
You can see the hole that's there. Well, mine that came in, they did not have the hole right there. They didn't.
Yep.
Those were not pre-drilled. So I had to get the old trusty drill out and drill my own holes in it, which wasn't a big deal. It took me an extra few seconds, but a company like Bonafide, a company that, well, rather it's not Bonafide, it's Yak Attack, but is Yak Attack owned by Bonafide? Or they? I don't really know. But in any case, whether it be Bonafide, whether it be Yak Attack, it's a pretty big company. They have really great products, and to let something like that go through QA or QC and not get caught, come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a free. No, my next order is free. I don't know.
We won't talk about it being $1,000, but hey.
Yeah. But in any case, the trolling motor's on, the rudder is on, my boat's registered. I'm good. I mean,
it's bad to the bone now. Old Bonnie she got a new pair of heels on, and she is strutting, dude.
the warship. I am telling you.
That thing it's nice, and I mean, like I said, if you watch his videos, you can see that thing zips. What is it? It's just a little cheap Minn Kota 30-pound thrust motor.
Yep.
I mean, I don't see why you need much more than that, anyhow. But I know in your video, I don't remember in your video if you talked about it. It was Yak Gadget is who you got your pot from.
Yes.
And, 30-pound thrust is all you can use on those, just for the simple fact that your pothole on your kayak that's as big a motor as you can fit in there.
Yeah, you can. Mine kind of touches whenever you're trying to put it through that, because you're talking, this wide.
Yeah.
That's all you're talking, and you got to get your prop. You got to spin it to where it's vertical, and then slide it down in there. And I don't think anything above a 30-pound will work.
I don't think it would. I mean, me and you were talking about it, and I was looking at them 40-pounders, and I found an actual video of a guy that had a 30-pound and a 40-pound thrust Minn Kota, and I mean, it was almost double size. Like,
Are you serious?
It's crazy how much bigger the 40-pound thrust is, the motor. I don't know if I'd quite say it's double, but it's pretty darn close. Yeah, so good luck getting that. Now if you did a cool thing about Yak Gadget is some of the, I don't know if Bonafide had one or not, but I know for my kayak, the Feel Free, they do have a side mount or a front mount that you can get instead of pod mount.
Yes.
So something like that you can go.
That was from.
Yak Gadget does have.
Well, hold on. I sent it to old boy the other day, so it'll be in my messages. The link will be right here.
Oh, did you send the Yak Gadget one?
Whatever that side mount.
Oh no! You're talking about. I know which one you're talking about.
What we
For
talking
the
about?
tracks. This one, it kind of looks like a triangle, and you put it off like the front of your kayak or your back on the one side. Like it doesn't. I know what you're talking about. The cross piece.
Yeah, the cross piece.
Yeah, this isn't like that. The Yak Gadget I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
But it's made specifically for the Feel Free.
Oh,
They got one for the Bonafide. Don't quote me, But I know Yak Gadget's got a lot of cool. And the thing about Yak Gadget, it seems like they're not that popular of a company. Like, I don't mean that in a bad way, but like, I don't think they've
Taking off.
taken off yet, which I don't see why they haven't.
Well, man, I'm trying. And if anybody from Yak Gadget is watching this, I have a lot of your stuff. I like it. So
And I don't know if people get it mixed up with Yak Attack, but Yak Gadget,
that's probably what it is.
I mean, Yak Gadget, they got some pretty cool things. They don't have a lot, but they have some. What they do have is pretty sweet. I think most of their stuff is Bonafide, Feel Free, Big Fish. I think the Vibe I was on there.
Yeah.
Can't
Vibe, I thought Vibe was a bigger brand. I mean, and Vibe is a pretty decent brand kayak. I mean, I have no complaints. I haven't heard anything bad about them, but to me, it seems like to me that it's, the Bonafides, the Feel Frees, and the Big Fish are, they're like top of the line. They're not, I don't want to say top of the line, but I would say they're probably chosen more often than not for fishing. Now, then you also have your diehard Hobie people.
Sorry, I just had a horse run past me, so don't worry about it.
And if you're a diehard Hobie person, you got money. I don't.
Overpriced, in my opinion. Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, I don't see it. I don't.
No. However, I mean, they say
A couple grand, I could understand, but 4, 5.
Yeah, that's crazy. And that's for a paddle drive. That's not pedals. That's not motor. That's just it floats. I mean, that's it. But the Bonafides are the SS series are said to be built with the most fishability in the market or something like that.
Yeah.
I agree with that to a point. However, I will say I noticed this yesterday. I was watching a video and this old boy was comparing an Old Town. I think it was Old Town Autopilot or something like that.
Those
against
yeah.
And he was comparing that against his SS 127, and he said the number one thing that he likes better, two things actually about the Bonafide, or one thing better about the Bonafide and one thing better about the Old Town, was he said the Bonafide seat, most comfortable seat he's ever sat in. He said they put a lot of effort into making that seat comfortable, which I 100% agree with. And then he pointed out how deep those Old Towns are. And you and I noticed that when we were up there at Mariner Sales. Those Old Town kayaks are deep. And at the time, I wasn't really thinking much about it until this guy in the video said this. He said they make them that deep so that fish can't flop out. And then I got to thinking, well, daggum, he's right. I've had a few fish flop over the side of my yak because those SS 127s, they're not that deep. I mean, they're probably about that deep.
My lure is not that deep either, man. It's
no.
There's times where I don't regret my decision. There's times where I think I should have went with the Big Fish like I originally thought.
Yeah.
Because Big Fish is like that. It's deeper. But the lure is
that thing's sexy.
I always say it's a little bit more budget friendlier Bonafide. I mean, it really does. It resembles.
I think it looks like a Big Fish.
It does.
And a Bonafide had a baby.
Yeah. That's probably an accurate description. I mean, you talk about seat. I mean, Feel Free. That was one of the things with lure. It definitely has one of the best seats on a kayak. Not quite as high. I think I'm an inch lower in my highest position than you are.
Yeah, mine's 15 inches. I don't know what yours is.
I think mine was 13 or 14.
Okay.
I was thinking it was like an inch lower.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And granted, yours is a little bit longer. I think you can only get the lure in 11.5 foot, or you can get it in a 13 foot.
Yeah, mine's 12.7, which is kind of funny because on my title it says 12.6.
Really?
I wrote down 12.7, but the title they sent me says 12.6. So I don't know if that's going to get me somewhere down the line or not, but I'm saying right now on record that sucker is 12'7".
Numbers match. It don't matter.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
So where are you at, man, in your journey?
I don't know.
No?
I might be might have some things up my sleeve, but
Yeah.
I think before we get in that, we should probably take a quick break real quick.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And we'll get back into it here in just a minute, guys. Let me get this pulled up. We'll be right back.
Hey y'all, I wanted to take a moment to tell you guys about one of our sponsors. Not only are they one of our sponsors, but they are an incredible American company, and they sell fire starting gear. The name of this company is Bigfoot Bushcraft. Now, this stuff works exactly as it is advertised. You take one of those plugs, expose the fibers, one strike with that ferro rod, you got yourself a flame. A decent flame at that. And this flame will burn for 5 minutes or more. So you get that thing put on your tinder, and that's more than enough time to get yourself a sustainable fire. So be sure to head on over to BigfootBushcraft.com. Use discount code WileyRoosterBoys, all one word, at checkout for 15% off your order. And every order placed with our discount code helps support our show. So get on over there, get you some gear, and get you a fire.
I completely forgot I made that ad.
Absolutely. Well, I want to actually add something to that ad. So anybody that is actually watching this, thinking about going and checking out Bigfoot Bushcraft, they actually have a sale going on today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. So the 10th through the 12th of October. It is going to be, use discount code SETSAIL, SETSAIL, and actually get you a little bit better discount. It's 20% off right now. So I just wanted to throw that in there.
Okay.
Yeah, they're doing a Columbus sale, I think it is. Hey, boy.
What's up, Benny?
I got my dog just raising Cain over here.
Well,
Usually I lock him out, but I figured I'd try this, and it's not working real well.
it's kind of funny that we did the Bigfoot ad, and well, on top of the fact that I completely forgot I even did that ad. Because earlier you mentioned put it in here, and I was like, yeah, cool. And then I heard that, and I was like, what? I don't even remember that. But what's funny about it is the fact that I just now went back up to the front tank, and if you go to my channel on Texas Wilds, and you'll see a video called "Fire Starting with My Daughter." I took that cowboy cooker. Did I say cowboy cooker? I don't know if I did or not. But anyway, there's a cowboy cooker up there. I took that cowboy cooker up there that day, and it's been sitting there ever since. And I went up there today and brought it back. But the fact that, you know, Bigfoot Bushcraft, we just did the ad for that, and that's why we had the cowboy cooker up there, was because I was doing a spot for Bigfoot Bushcraft. But I do want to show you this, see if the camera will focus on it. This is how bad we're doing here in Texas, folks. Well, this part of Texas. This is the deepest part of my front tank. See if it'll focus. Focus. Yeah, that's sitting on dry ground, leaving no ruts. Got my dog in the back there. We're doing bad. We got a serious drought going on. Oh, come on, focus. Bring it back into focus.
We're doing real bad. But you know what's even crazier than that thing being dry?
What's
When
that?
it fills up, they'll still be fishing.
Yeah. Only thing I can figure is birds.
Yeah. That's it's always blown me away how I don't get it. Yeah, I'm with you, bird something. I don't get it. But
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, touch up. You were asking me about my journey. Definitely got some progress coming, but we will wait and see on that. Gonna have some videos coming out for sure.
Well,
It's coming. Rooster Outdoors wise, I'll touch on it real quick. Man, I've been kind of dead, been away. We've all had our reasons. Life comes.
Yeah.
Looking at my analytics, dude, really, a lot of my best videos is gun related. And,
you don't have any guns.
situation in Washington D.C. right now. I got a little gun shy. I didn't know if I really want to put my business out there. So, and then other things going on. And this boy,
He is going to town on that thing.
going crazy. Yeah, I don't know if y'all ever met Benny. This is Benny. He's my little 8-month-old Great Dane, but he is
Get it back.
absolutely crazy.
Well,
Hey,
you have you got it underway so far, at least your motorization journey. And while we're talking about that, I did want to show you guys exactly how cheap it is. And I understand that, this isn't exactly cheap, but in terms of getting yourself motorized, it's really not bad. Whenever you take if you have a Feel Free or a Big Fish or a Bonafide, this is not bad. I want to show you guys this. Okay, so you got your Minn Kota 30-pound thrust, $109, right? Get you a 50 amp hour battery, $109. Your pod mount, this is for the SS127, it's $149. They're $139 for the Feel Free and $149 for the Big Fish. And your battery box. This is the battery box that I prefer. I really dig it. It's got the cigarette lighter adapters on it. It's got USB ports on it, stuff like that. $60.
yeah,
So
dude, that's sweet battery box.
overall, that's $430. Granted, yes, that's a chunk of change. It is, but in the grand scheme of things, $430 to get yourself completely motorized. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
Well,
not bad.
This was part of the reason I bought a Feel Free lure. Unfortunately, the Bonafide hasn't done this yet, and I don't know why. But
Don't be hating.
Feel Free lure, huh?
Don't be hating.
Well, not me, but it's an honest question. Why haven't they done this? Feel Free, with their lure series, was able to make it where you could buy just a paddle kayak, and down the road you could buy the setup for pedal. And the problem with that is it comes with a hefty price tag. It is $1,000 for the pedal drive system. Now I do believe it comes with the rudder. Quote me on that, but I believe it does.
The rudder by itself is $240 for a Feel Free.
That's something else for the Feel Free. It don't make sense. Yours is what? $160?
160, 159, 169, something like that.
So, and mine is what I say was
$239 or $249.
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It-
Well, I'll give you an answer to that. Why it hasn't Bonafide made a drop-in pedal drive? Well, I'll give you their answer and I'll give you the real answer. Their answer is because the SS series, as they were before the P series, their hulls were not structurally designed to handle pedal drive. BS. The real reason is, hey, we can make more money by selling this $3,000 kayak. That's the real reason.
I agree with you. I watched a video the other day, and it was actually, I think this video is old. It's like a year old, but I agreed with the guy 100%. He made the argument that pedal drive is maybe not dead yet, but it's a dying thing, and I 100% agree with him, because what you just showed for me, that was less than half the price to get motorized, even better than pedal.
Yes.
And so, I mean, if you're given the two options, hey, look, you can spend less than half the money and be electric, or you can spend $1,000. Here's your pedal drive. You still got to work.
Yeah. And to me, I'm not a cyclist. All right.
Yeah.
I don't like bicycles. I don't like that. It's like working out. Do you see this physique? I don't do that.
I mean, worked hard to get there.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how many Martha's tacos we had to eat?
Right. Sorry. I think that
You're so dang spoiled.
tell them what you're talking about, man.
Huh?
Tell them what you're talking
I'm
about.
pretty sure they sing, because I seen the door go. And here's some ice. And, oh, hey, maybe there's a brewski in here. Oh, look. take the left hand, we'll grab this over here.
That's the right hand. Right. Yeah, we're flopped.
Yeah,
I'm drinking apple juice, man.
yeah.
I completely lost my train of thought. Where were we? Oh, what? Unless you're just like a person who likes to exercise regularly, when there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I wish I had that drive. I wish I do. If I did, I wouldn't have this physique right here. But anyway, unless you're somebody who really just enjoys working out and exercising all the time, why would you get a pedal drive? To me, that just seems like extra work.
But so I get the allure of a pedal drive. I really do. But that's also me not being real savvy with what you can do for less money. Get out.
Right.
For getting the motorized.
Right.
So, I mean, at the time, that was one of the sellers for me on the lure. I didn't even think about motorized. I was thinking like, hey, I can get a pedal drive and be a lot easier than paddling. I can still carry the paddle with me. But now, no. I mean, if a person's educated enough to, I guess that's the right word, to know what the options are out there. Me personally, I didn't even think about it. I really didn't. To me, that was what the allure was for the pedal drive. It was going to be better than paddling. I didn't even think about a trolling motor.
What's so funny to me is you go back on our lives over time, and I'm like, I'm never going motorized. That's not kayaking. That's cheating. Actually, I think if you go to it was one of the lives before we were going to do a tournament, and we were talking about people with trolling motors out there, and I was like, that's not kayaking, that's cheating, or whatever I said. Well, this hat shouldn't say Trump 2024. It should say hypocrite, because I am all about getting motorized now. Hey, people's views change, you know.
That's it. They do, and we learn. You know, we do learn. Hey, what are you doing?
He wants to be famous, man.
He's a dang puppy, little booger. He's literally about to turn 8 months old here in just a couple days.
That's a
I
big
don't
guy.
want to see him grow up, but at the same time, holy moly, this puppy style, he's into everything.
Well, we've talked about upgrades. We talked about kayaks. We talked about that kind of stuff. You done any fishing in our off season? I guess you could call it. And well, I say off season. This isn't exactly starting a new season on Wiley Rooster Boys. We just kind of wanted to touch back with you guys, let y'all know that we didn't drown. We're not dead.
We're not dead. We're still here. WRB's still here. We appreciate anybody that actually watches this still around. I mean, we do appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
It technically goes for both of our channels, honestly, besides the WRB. I know you've actually been getting a little bit out here now, getting a few videos out, letting people know you're still around, still doing things. It's just life happens.
Yeah.
So same with Reeser Outdoors. I've got some stuff lined up. It's just patience. I say patience. Shoot, it's been 8 months since last video or so. I don't know what my last video was. It's been a while.
Mine was before the one I put out 2 weeks ago. It had been 8 months. It was February 4th, I believe, was the last time I published a video, and that's whenever I installed that trolling motor. Which before I get too far, the battery box and the trolling motor. What I had to do is I eliminated my milk crate, and I put the battery box behind my seat. And because I used my milk crate for my rod holders, what I did is I bolted my rod holders to the battery box. And what I had to do for the trolling motor is I bought me some wire, and I extended the cord, the lines, whatever, on the trolling motor, because they were about 3 foot too short to reach from the pod mount to behind my seat. So you will have to do a little bit of modifying. All I did was get some butt connectors and some shrink wrap or heat shrink, and made it watertight. So no problems there. But anyway,
I just want to say real quick, doing this live thing, I have a bunch of stuff. I didn't have the comments up, and well, Frankie's up in here watching. What's up, Frankie?
Really?
Yeah, he's saying he doesn't know. That seems like a lot of weight.
I don't know what's it.
Yeah.
What are we talking
Crazy, Frankie. Crazy.
about? What are we talking about?
Huh? In the
Make-
comment section, Frankie's up in here.
I know, but Frankie, what are you talking about? Make your own. What's a lot of weight?
I don't know if he's talking about your battery box or what.
Maybe. Wait, that battery box is like 3 pounds.
Yeah, but
If that.
even the battery's not that much. It's like 7 pounds or something.
Oh no,
I mean,
no,
come
no.
on, you got an old town, Frankie.
Oh come on,
What's
Frank.
the
The
weight
battery in the
capacity
truck.
on that thing? Oh,
You're gonna make your own trolling motor, Frankie? Come on
Yeah.
now. Beat some feet. Stick your feet off the back of the kayak. That's it. I'm confused.
Wait till you come back down to Texas, Frankie. We'll have a
Elaborate,
race.
my friend. Unless you're talking about going lithium, and I will agree with you, going lithium for your batteries is probably the way to go. But that is stupid expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it cuts your weight by like a quarter. But no, I'm not spending that much money on maybe down the road. Maybe I will. But anyway, I keep getting distracted. In the last 8 months, what you got going on? Text me, Frankie. 'Cause I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, you been out fishing lately, man?
And so I have. Definitely didn't film. Like I said, it's been dead. But I went out to contradicts your video, but you ain't never caught no fish at that lake. But I had one of my
Not
better
for
days.
lack of trying.
Yeah, I had one of my better days at that exact lake. I didn't catch nothing crazy. I think the biggest thing I caught was 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. It wasn't nothing big, but I had a lot of bites. I caught 3 fish that day. I say more. I've caught 3 fish before. I did a tournament on that lake, and I think I caught 3 dinks, but that was all I got. So I've never caught more than 3 fish on that lake at a time.
I got one in 15 years.
Yeah.
Well, the video that I made of the kayak or the trolling motors maiden voyage was on that same lake, and I mentioned that in my video. I said I was talking to my wife about this the other day. Blah 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 blah. I have not pulled anything except for one singular bluegill out of this lake in the last 15 years. So you're probably asking yourself, why is he on that lake? And I said, I'm asking myself the same thing. Because I'm stupid, and it's easy to get there. I mean, that's one of the easier lakes to get to around here. I want to like that lake so bad. I want to figure out that lake so bad.
It's a vendetta, dude. I'm going to. There's nice bass in that lake. I know for a fact. We've seen the pictures.
I can't tell that they could be pulling some wool over our eyes like the Mono boys.
Yeah, this ain't no Lake Erie.
Oh,
Come on now.
let's touch on that briefly. You want to? What I heard is it wasn't somebody that said, hey, my fish was bigger than that and it weighed less. The tournament director, he's the one that said, hang on, something ain't right. Because, he's a lifetime fisherman, and there's an interview he did with, I can't remember who it was with, but he did an interview and he's talking about, I used to catch 8-pound walleye with my buddy all the time. And after thinking about it for a second at that weigh-in, I thought something ain't right. And so that's why he had decided to check the fish, and he felt of them real quick, and he felt there was something inside of them. And that's what led to them cutting the fish open. And there was, this is a question that was on the forum, so I'm just going to say it. How did those guys make it out of there? The question was, how did those guys make it away from that tournament without getting their ass kicked?
Yeah.
That is a very good question.
Very good question.
As it turns out, there was already a police presence there. The tournament director is actually a police officer for that area, and another participant was also a police officer. So he kind of took charge of the scene, and they escorted them off the property and made sure no harm came to them. And that's not the answer. I mean, there's no reason to beat the hell out of them guys. Do they deserve it? Yeah, absolutely. But that doesn't mean that that's what should happen. A guy was telling us that over the past several years or so, they have won like $3 million.
Yeah. Got a boat, you know, all kinds of stuff.
That's ridiculous, man. Do you have no integrity? I mean, I got a conscience. I wouldn't even count a fish during a tournament if I foul hooked it, you know?
We were talking with the boss, and that's what I was saying. Like, I've never even. I don't want to mean this like, oh, I think it's cool, but like it was ingenious to me. I never even thought about trying to stuff something, you know. But my mind's not wired that way. I'm not trying to cheat.
Right.
Or like he was saying with the ruler method.
Yeah.
This
Cutting
wasn't
a fish tail off.
Yeah, I mean it's still a big deal, but this wasn't as big.
Don't do the stuff we're talking about. Okay, go ahead. So don't do the stuff we're talking about.
Yeah, don't do it.
Go ahead.
So we were talking to a guy we know, and he was also talking about there was some people that got busted one time. You know, usually the tournaments we've been in, it's by length, it's not by weight. So you got to hold down the fish, take a picture, and then you know you got the length. You got a number on your hand, so they know that it's you. Well, there was a guy that would cut the tail and move it further back, so where his hand was sitting, there was no fish. Hey, will you quit biting me? There was no fish, and the tail was further out, so it made the fish, you know, what's the width of your hand? You know, it made the fish that much longer.
Yeah.
I never, I don't know. It's
No, man.
crazy to me.
You have zero integrity. You're not a good person. I don't like cheaters, period. Yeah. And they say if you're not cheating, you don't want to win bad enough. No, that's.
Does it suck losing some money? Yeah. But, you know, most time that money's going to good things. You know, yeah, there's winners, they're getting a pot. But, you know, there's a lot of tournaments that this money's going to good things. So,
And if you're really that worried about losing money, then you probably don't have the money to burn to do the tournament in the first place, and you shouldn't be there.
Yeah. So, I don't know. These guys, what they say that tournament was like 45,000?
Something like that, yeah.
You know, that got one tournament, you know, you could live for a year.
Yeah.
Hey, you quit biting me. God,
But
mighty dog.
I still want to get us, you know, once things fire back up full steam, and that's not going to be right now, and it's probably not going to be, you know, necessarily soon. But once things fire back up around here, I would still like to get us like a tournament going, like a kayak club going around here.
Absolutely.
I don't necessarily want to run it. I got enough irons in the fire already.
Yeah.
But you know, if somebody else want to take the reins and just start up a kayak club around here, and we could do some tournaments. You know, within what do you think? 60 miles of home base, wherever that might be.
Yeah. I think that'd be all right. I mean, we've talked about this. It would be. We've talked about a lot of different things. Real quick, Frankie says it makes me wonder how many other tournaments did they cheat in. And you're right. Like,
yeah.
I mean, what did we say in 3 years they had like $3 million?
Something like that.
They won boat.
However, that $3 million, I've only heard that from one person.
Have you? See, I've seen articles about it. I've seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was right after it happened. I mean, is it completely accurate? I don't know. You know, that was the same with. I heard that there was a guy talking about the fish. He's like, "Hey, my fish are bigger. Why are his weighing more?" You know, I didn't.
So
know
there's conflicting stories.
It could have been. You know how news goes. It's.
And then again, every bit of that could be true because there's so many people that were involved in it. So many people were there, different perspectives and stuff like that. So,
That's
I mean, that makes sense.
That is true.
Frankie,
I mean, we've talked about it. You know, we wanted to do a little program where we could take kids out. You know,
Mhm.
A bunch of people take kids out. I always thought it was cool. I seen there was people that take veterans. I always thought that was neat.
Yes.
There's programs that I've seen that people have bass boat or whatever, and that's what they do. They go and they let people enter their names, and they'll pick the person, an old veteran, they'll take them out fishing, and have a good old time.
Man, if I had the time and money to do that kind of stuff, I think I could pour my heart and soul into something like that.
Absolutely.
I just don't.
Yeah.
There's better men than me out there that can do this kind of stuff. I would love to take part in it one day.
I
But
don't know. You say better men than us. I don't know about that. It is they have the means to do it, and they do the right thing.
right.
And I think if we were in the position that they were, I think I would be a lot more people doing it too.
Frankie says, I hope they get fined and lose their sponsors. Man, I hope they get arrested.
Dude,
there was two
I
guys.
heard today that they got arrested. There was stuff all
They
over
did.
YouTube that they got arrested. Yeah.
They did. Okay, I
I
watched the
don't know. I
video.
haven't watched any of them, but I've seen a bunch of videos. There's a bunch of stuff popping up saying they got arrested.
I know there was two
But
guys.
you know for a fact that sponsor, as soon as that happened, them sponsors said, "Hey,
They done.
breaking up."
Yeah, I know a few years ago these guys did something similar to it, not near as bad, but they got charged with I think 2 felonies and 2 misdemeanors. So these guys they could be looking at some serious time here if they can go back and somehow prove that they cheated previously too.
That's it. Charles nailed it on the head when he was talking about that. You can't prove
No,
what they did. I mean,
but one thing I
technically,
can
you
guarantee
prove
is
what they did with this one. Yes and no. I mean, technically, you can't say that they put it in them, but we know.
we found them like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
They filleted the fish and ate them. But no, I think that I think it goes without saying that these guys will never participate in another tournament again in their lives, and that's the way it should be. They should be in jail, but they certainly don't deserve to do any kind of tournaments anymore.
Right. No, absolutely not, dude. It's sickening. It is. 99% of the people out there are just there to have a good time, enjoying what we do.
I mean, the few tournaments that I participated in, 2 of them, for a fact, 2 of them I did not catch any. I didn't even get a bite in 2 of the tournaments I participated in. I wasn't mad. I was a little bit disheartened, of course. That's how it is. But
You want a reel? I don't want to hear it. I don't want.
but I didn't catch any fish. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I want a reel.
You didn't catch no fish, but getting a brand new reel that kind of softens the blow.
Yeah, I was a little disheartened that I didn't get anything, but I still had fun. And I saw a quote today. I actually screenshotted it because I thought it was really accurate. It says, "It's crazy how 90% of hunting and fishing has nothing to do with the animal." And that hit me pretty good, because if you think about it, yes, we want to go out there. We want to catch the biggest fish. We want to take down the biggest buck, all that. But how much joy do you get? Okay, let's put for an example, the night before I know that I'm going out, whether I'm going hunting in the morning or whether I'm going to hit the lake in the morning, the night before, that feeling that I have, how pumped I am, how excited I'm going through my gear, I'm checking my gear, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and it's just, I'm in that moment where I'm like riding a high. And I don't know, maybe it's the same for you, maybe it's the same for y'all. That's what I like about it. It gives me some kind of purpose, I guess, in that field, and I love the feeling of it. I mean, to me, it's incomparable. You can't beat it. Maybe that's just me.
No, it's. I think you're absolutely right. Everyone that does the right thing does. I mean, that's what we do it for. I mean, you conserve. I don't know where I'm going with it. I mean, it's most people feel that way, I think.
I would hope so.
There's always going to be bad apples. There's always going to be bad apples.
I know plenty of hunters that go out there and they could care less. They couldn't care less about the meat. All they want is that 12-point or that Boone and Crockett. They want to go out there and they shoot it. They cut the head off and they leave the body. That infuriates me.
Oh yeah.
Because one, venison is delicious. Two, you could have donated that meat to a family in need.
Frankie, we can't put that on here. Yeah. Height. That's what you meant.
Yeah. But hunters that go out there and they just cut the head off of the deer that they shoot and they leave the body. You could donate that meat. You could give that meat to a friend. You could whatever. You could do something with it. But they just leave it. Like, for instance, a few years ago, whenever we had to go pick up those aoudad that people cut the heads off of, what,
Yeah.
they cut the heads off of these aoudad they shot, left them in the ditch somewhere. What are you doing?
My wife, she I've taught her things over the years, but she didn't realize. And I mean, I say this because I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't realize. People hit deer with their cars all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some people look down, oh, that's roadkill. Not necessarily. It's not really roadkill.
It's tenderized.
Take a phone call. I don't know what it is in Texas. I think it's about the same as it was in Nebraska. You can make a phone call to the state patrol. They'll come over and give you a $15 permit. Sign the paperwork. So you can take that sucker to a processor and get it processed right there. Done.
Not here in Texas. I called the game. This happened twice. I've called the game warden and sent him pictures. He said, harvest it. You're good. If anybody asks you anything, give them my number. I've hit 2 deer, and I sent him pictures. I let him know everything. I even asked him. I said, hey, do you want me to tag this deer? And he said, nah, don't worry about it. It was an accident. There's no sense in it going to waste. Yeah. One of them was I hit the deer on the road, and he did like $6,000 damage worth of my truck, so I ate him. And then another one was he was caught in the fence down the back of the property, and his leg was broken, the bone was sticking out and everything. So I called the game warden, sent him pictures, and I said, hey, man, this is what's going on. Can I harvest this deer? And he said, absolutely. There's no sense in going to waste. It seems to be the same response each time. There's no sense in it going to waste because this is a resource that we can use,
Well, I shouldn't say it, but I mean, there's been a couple times of some back home. I might have nicked the deer, and not on purpose, but didn't do no damage to my vehicle, so there's no reason to inform people. And I promise you, those deer went to good use.
See, there's no sense in wasting it, man. Yeah. And if you're out there and you don't like venison, something's wrong.
I'm big into cooking stuff, and me and you talked about. I watched this fella. His name is Andrew Zimmern, and a lot of people know him because he had that show Bizarre Foods or whatever. But he has a lot of other stuff. He has a pretty cool YouTube, but he talks about it, and I agree with him on this aspect. Most people that don't like venison or fish, the main reason, and not all of them, but the main reason on most of those people don't like it is because grandpa didn't cook something right, or your friend didn't cook something right. They tried it the one time, they didn't like it, and that was it.
Well, we know somebody like that. We work with them. Yeah.
Well, my wife's the same way. She tried venison, she wouldn't eat it. That's besides the fact that, anyhow, whatever. But I won't get into that. But that's part of the reason why I don't really hunt no more. It's not that I don't want to. It's just my wife really doesn't eat a lot. I can't justify shooting a deer anymore. It's a pain already cooking dinner. Now you got to cook 2 different things because she doesn't want to eat it.
If you shoot a deer, you can sign that paper that that says you're transferring ownership of that dear to me.
No, I'm off the deer, but I can't. But that's part of the reason I don't really hunt. When I was in Nebraska, man, before I met my wife and did all that, dude, I hunted like a son of a gun. There wasn't a season I wasn't a part of. But
that's what's crazy about down here in Texas. A lot of folks don't even have a hunting license, and they hunt with their truck.
Who was that? Ron White?
No, it was Rodney Carrington. Big old camouflage.
Start the truck up real slow.
Start it up real slow. But no, that's true. I mean, a lot of people, and some of those people, they do it because 1, they want the meat, or 2, because maybe they're on hard times and they figure, I got this ranch hand, might as well put it to good use. But I don't do that. don't
Yeah,
don't hit deer intentionally. Don't do that. But if you do hit one, call the game warden. I mean, if you don't have the game warden's number, call PD or call the SO, and they'll usually put you in contact with the right person, and you can get it taken care of right there. However, it was pretty funny whenever I hit that deer, and I probably shouldn't put this part out there, but I'm going to anyway. We gutted it on the side of the road.
Yeah. There you are.
There we go. And whenever the guy loaded my truck on the rollback on the wrecker, I had blood pouring out of my off the daggum tailgate and stuff like that. And he's like, "What's that?" And I said, "No, that was there." You know, and he had blood pouring down his rollback and all that stuff. And, hey, what are you gonna do? You know,
It happens. Hunting and stuff with J&J. Hello, how you doing,
what's
man?
going on, man? I like that thumbnail or that icon. 2A, Second Amendment, baby, all the way.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Talking about blood, though, I'll throw this little story in real quick. So when I was in high school, years ago, this was in Nebraska. We still had a fur bearer come and collect pelts. You get paid for it. So we go shoot at coyotes all the time. And go sell them. You know, I get $20-$25 fur if I didn't booger it up too bad.
That's not bad.
No, it wasn't bad. That's how I made a lot of money in high school, especially during the winter months. But I used to have an old Bronc, and it was a Bronco 2 actually, but it had a sunroof in it. And I've been carrying all kinds of stuff. I shot a deer, had it up there, I had coyotes, all kinds of stuff, and tied it on the roof rack. Well, not just Nebraska, but you start getting up northern, deer, especially the muleys, are very, very big bodied.
And
People up
stupid.
there wouldn't know. Like I shot a muley, and that sucker clean was every bit of almost 200 pounds. You know, big. We got it up on there, and it put a big old dent in the roof right before the sunroof. Well, me and a buddy was cruising around one day, and the sun happened to come out. Well, I didn't know. My sunroof wasn't the most sealed. I come to a stop at the stoplight. Well, I guess there's a big old pool of blood in that dang dent. That came over right through the sunroof onto my buddy. Oh my God, it was funny. It was funny.
Oh, that's funny.
I didn't know what I couldn't help but laugh. I just sat there and laughed. I was like, I don't know what to say.
What are you gonna do, man? I mean, it's like that. I had an incident with blood. It actually made it into one of my videos. I was down there with my daughter, and we were hunting pigs, and I shot this sow. She's probably 100, 120 pounds, maybe 100, 120, 125. You know, not a big girl, but 125 pounds isn't that much weight until it's dead weight. So I got the side-by-side backed up to it, and I'm trying to load it. And my daughter, she was like 3 or 4 at this time. I think she's 4. And I try to load this pig up, and I'm struggling. This is before I had that little winch thing that I use now, which if you don't have one of those, buy you one of them receiver hitch winches. Lifesaver. I'm getting old. So I'm trying to load this thing. I get his body. I'm holding his legs. I get him up. I try to lift him with my knee. I plop his head up on the tailgate. It slaps down, and I shot him right behind the jawbone. Terrible shot. But whenever her head slapped, my whole face, blood splattered like crazy. And my daughter was like, "Do you need a baby wipe?" Like, nah, baby girl, I'm good. We'll be all right. But whenever you get blood on you unexpectedly, it's always kind of like a cringe moment, you know. But you know, in a second you'll recover. You'll be all right.
Yeah, we could put you on the spot if you wanted to.
But we shouldn't.
We should.
We shouldn't, because I know exactly where you're going with that.
Yeah, there's a story you're not talking about in that.
Nope.
We'll save that for a later date.
Yeah, maybe whenever I get more comfortable with you guys. That's a story. I ain't sharing that story on the interwebs.
It's a good one.
Enough people know that story as it is.
Oh man. Oh,
That was not one of my shining moments.
That's we should do another episode one day and do like a, I don't know. I don't want to call it Q&A, but you know.
I don't know how we would put that on this platform.
Man, I've got one similar, but it wasn't with a pig. It was fish, but
well, that's not bad.
It's still the same thing.
Well, now these people probably already know what the hell we're talking about.
We'll save that for a later date.
Yeah. All right. We're going to be going on here for about.
Yep. We're sitting at an hour now.
There we go. Sitting at about an hour. I don't know if I freeze whenever it freezes on my end. That's why you'll notice I'm kind of stopping for a second. And as soon as I come back up, then I'll start again. But because I don't know what it looks like on y'all's end. All I see is what we have here. But anyway, let's cut this off here, unless you want to keep going.
No, that's fine. We did an hour.
Yeah, we're shooting for 30 minutes, guys. I don't know. It just happens.
It did. Well, it's been a long time ago. We hadn't seen you folks in a long time, and opportunity came, so we took it. So
yeah, but get ready, because I would say in the next month, 2 months, maybe a few weeks, if we can play our cards right, we'll be getting some. And I know that it's not prime fishing time. You know, we're getting into winter time here in Texas, but the way the weather's been, honestly, I don't think it's going to have much of a change on us until probably January. Something like that.
80-degree days. I mean, it's been pretty good.
I'm looking to go to Sunshine this weekend. I'm going to try and hit that lake up.
Yeah, I'm really curious about it. Hey.
But all right, guys, we'll cut this off
quick,
here. Oh.
Real quick, before we bounce off, I do want to just let everybody know that is watching. Me and you actually have another channel.
Oh, yeah.
It's not as a set schedule neither, but it's not really a PG-13 channel neither.
Don't let your kids watch it.
We just let stuff fly there. So
whether it be, you know, we talk about everything from politics to current events to conspiracy theories to, you know, all kinds of stuff, and it's not family friendly. Yeah, don't let your kids watch it.
Yeah, we try to hold our tongue a little bit better here.
Yeah, doesn't always happen, but you know.
Yeah.
But well, I guess y'all need to know what that's called. It's called Pull Up a Chair.
Pull up a chair. Yeah.
And it's on YouTube.
I don't have a link, otherwise I'd throw it in the chat real quick. But.
Well, if you search for Pull Up a Chair on YouTube, it is a black background with a black chair, orange chair with an orange circle around it, and it says "Pull Up a Chair" next to it, I think.
And yep, that would be it. It's definitely we do our thing too, but it's also more for the viewer too. I mean, if you guys want to get up there and talk, share some stories, all that, absolutely. That's more what that channel is. So
yeah, we threw the link up here. I don't know if when we throw the link in right here, does it show the link in all the platforms that people are watching on?
I'm not sure. Go ahead and try. I mean, whatever you put in StreamYard last, it went across all channels. So I would.
Okay, so it should. Yeah, we'll throw the link up to the stream in the comments, and if you guys want to click that link, you guys can join in the conversation. Y'all will be put up here on the screen with us. I think you can do it audio only if you want to, but I'm not sure.
And it's like I said, this channel is definitely not a scheduled thing. It's again, you know, we have a few things we've been trying to put up there, but the folks that we were planning on having with us, scheduling.
Yeah, scheduling.
But keep an eye out for that, and everybody's more than welcome to join in and talk.
But y'all just hang out because I want to say around election time, whether it be the primaries or the general, be watching that channel because we're going to be putting some content out, and I'm sure that you got and this guy hunting and stuff with J&J. You got the 2A on your icon there. I think that channel is probably right up your alley. Yep. We'd love to have you, and if you want to, shoot us an email at wileyroosterboys@gmail.com, and maybe we can get together and we can schedule a guest spot or something like that. get to know each other a little bit, see if we can't get something going. But
Absolutely.
in any case, guys,
Yep. I want to appreciate everybody that joined in today, or anybody that watches this at a later time. We're definitely not dead. We're still here.
no. All right, guys. We'll see y'all later.
Have a good one, y'all.
Later.